are lining up for today's final. Only 3 Manchester United players in the starting 11 that began last year's FA Cup final. Leah Galton, Mayra and Millie Turner. In fact, Turner and Letizia have featured in all 30 games for Manchester United since then. Midfielder Ella Toon starting on the bench, and up front, United's top scorer this season, Elizabeth Turlen, gets her Wembley debut. Well, good news for Chelsea as Ramirez returns, not having featured since last month. And 21-year-old Aggie Beever-Jones also gets the nod up front. And their Wembley hero from 2 years ago, Sam Kerr, also not involved. She's been sidelined since January 2024 with an ACL injury, but 4-time FA Cup winner Erin Cuthbert makes her 34th appearance for the club this season. Robin, thank you very much. Well, Chelsea dominated possession in that first half. They go unbeaten in 14 of the 15 previous meetings against Manchester United in all competitions, Farrah Williams. So it's going to take a big second half from Manchester United to get back into this game.
Yeah, will do. And I said before the game, I thought it'd be a tactical game. And I actually think Chelsea's tactic to get today has actually set the two teams apart. Manchester United haven't been able to deal with the formation Chelsea have set up with a back five and a 4 midfield, a box midfield, and then obviously Ramirez and the presence of Ramirez up front. So tactically, Chelsea in the first half have got it bang on. Man United have a little bit of work to do in the second half, but I'm sure they'll be in the dressing room now trying to solve those problems.
Yeah, it's like we're seeing a different speed to Chelsea's play today, Ellen.
Yeah, 100%, and I think that's all from the build-up from Hannah Hampton, but then also that back three of Millie Bright, Germa, but then also Bjorn. I think they've been phenomenal, the way they're moving the ball, but then also breaking lines. Baltimore in that half space, Aggie Beever-Jones in the half space, and they're able to attack with speed, like you say, in the wide areas. But then I thought that they were really on top, but it would have been frustrating not to have gone in 1-up. But obviously now they've got that goal, so I feel like they need more of that going into the second half.
Yeah, Nikita, you're used to playing up against a dominant Chelsea team. So what will the Manchester United players be saying in there right now?
Right now, they'll be thinking about not conceding again. I think they've done so well to go in at half-time only 1-0 down because Chelsea have really dominated that first half. I think it's been so easy for Chelsea to step into Manchester United's half because, you know, Leo Galton on the left-hand side can't get high enough. So that means that on the widest in the channel, the widest centre half is able to step in, or the fullback is able to get on the back shoulder, which is causing so many problems for Gabby George and Leo Galton. And as well as with the box midfield, it's who do you mark? Do you mark the widest midfielder? Do you mark the fullback? Do you mark the centre half? It's a very difficult decision, and that's how, you know, Chelsea are really putting a step hold in this game because, you know, United can't get on the ball, they can't retain the ball, and they're so deep in the half. They're defending well. I mean, you know, they've conceded a penalty. It's a rash leg in the box, you know, and that's when you've defended for such a long time. Your decision making then becomes a little bit skewed, and you know, Bizet's gone in with a dangling foot, and Cuthbert's gone, thank you very much, and gone over.
Well, Nikita, let's have a look at that penalty. 100% a penalty for you?
Yeah, 100% a penalty. I think anywhere on that pitch, it's a foul. And yeah, as the balls come, you know, it's a 50-50 ball, but Erin Cuthbert's been clever enough to get her body in the way in front of the dangling leg of Bizet, and she's gone down. And you know, it's an easy decision for the referee in this moment, I think.
I think for me it's frustrating for Manchester United because they defended so well. For them to go in the half, obviously to go 0-0 would have been great for them. But this is cool, calm and collected from Sandy Baltimore. She's facing the Manchester United fans. They were going crazy flying their flags, but she loved it. So cool. And Fantas Joyce was really kind of playing a bit of the mind games as well, but that is such a great penalty in these circumstances, that pressure.
Yeah, the question was who's going to take the penalty, and it's Macario, their first choice penalty taker, and Dean Wrighton were both on the bench, and it doesn't matter who's going to take it. And Baltimore, as Ellen mentioned there, stepped up and was really composed in that area to put the ball in the back of the net because there was just a sea of red flags in front of her. So really calm, cool, collected penalty she took there.
Farrah, talk to me more about Chelsea's tactics, and especially them using the width today.
Yeah, at first I thought they were going to play with wide players that actually won the width, but they didn't. They're playing with narrow wide players, which creates a box in midfield. You'll see Aggie Beever here, which means that Lucy Bronze, the fullbacks, is creating the width, and what it does then is detaches the fullback and centre half for allow for runs like that from Aggie Beever, who ends up in the final third with a shot at goal. But you'll see it here. Lucy Bonds is challenging out wide. Aggie Beaver central, and she just makes a great little touch. But those central runs in between the centre half and the fullback have been difficult for Manchester United all half. She would have liked to have done better in that final third, Aggie Beaver. The fact she's got into there is a positive, but they've been doing it all game. You'll see here, this time it's Ramirez, so they've got players coming short. Ramirez identifies the space in behind, and this is an unbelievable take. Takes it on the outside of her foot and then pushes it past. You see Millie Turner here trying to recover it, and they get lucky. Lucy Bonds, the wide, fullback for Chelsea, manages to be the highest player to get a touch on it, and the goalkeeper Tullis Joyce is in a good position, or she's on the floor, and Lucy Bonds isn't able to just lift it. But look at the run from Lucy Bonds, determination to get in the box, and doesn't quite do enough. But this has been a problem for the Man United fullbacks and centre halves all game. They've been able to make runs in between. We'll just see it here.
I was just going to say, it's a lot of work for those Manchester United players, having to run back to your goal so consistently in this second half. This is great play, and just didn't quite execute that cross, but it's just been relentless from Chelsea.
Yeah, I think what we've not seen this season from Man United in the centre half, they've been pretty consistent. They're the second best, defensive team in the league behind Chelsea, and only by 2 goals. You've never seen the Man United centre-halves ever become too far apart, ever become out of, contact with each other. But I think the way that Chelsea have set up, they're in 2 minds, and you can see it from here. We've got a perfect view up here, Alex, and tactically it's brilliant because they don't know whether to go in, they don't have to deny the space, and by being indecisive, they're leaving massive spaces in behind.
Farah, you say about perfect view. Ellen White, you were standing right behind me watching, and you were making all kinds of noise, sound effects, every time Ramirez got the ball and laid it off and touched. It's a huge boost to have her back on the pitch today for Chelsea.
Yeah, we weren't sure, were we, whether she was going to start today, but I feel like Sonia's made a great decision. I just think her strength, her power, and her desire to obviously want to get in the box. But what I also love is her little touches where she was able to bring others into play. And I feel like she is such a key part to this Chelsea team, where she'll just hold up the ball and just be able to bring others in. And I just feel like with the way that Chelsea are playing, you need someone like that to be able to hold the ball up and bring and let all the midfielders be able to, right, I can come onto the ball and then we're attacked. So I've been really admiring her today.
I think for me, Ramirez is so strong, and that causes indecision for the centre halves. Do I get super tight to her and then she spins me, or do I step off and then she creates the space in behind and takes a big touch? And how quick she is, she just beats every defender. And I think Manchester United need to be a lot braver with her. They need to be more aggressive. They need to take fouls in clever areas, because Ramirez is feeling the game today. She's in a groove, and you don't want that. You really don't want that.
Well, Chelsea ending this season in style, in fashion. Farah, we're used to it being 1-0 Chelsea through a lot of this season, but not today. Big game players show up in big moments, and that's what those Chelsea players are used to doing.
Exactly that, Alex. I think when you look at Chelsea over the season, to go unbeaten in the WSL, to obviously win the League Cup, and then to come here today, and I would say save their best performance for last. I thought they were outstanding today. I thought tactically they outdone this Manchester United team, and every player from the starting 11 all the way through to the bench, and the players that came into the game executed a game plan to perfection. And obviously the goals come with that. I felt as the game grew on, I felt these Man United players were tiring, and these Chelsea players, with the players they could bring on from the bench, just brought more energy, more intensity, and it was a matter of time before they got that second and third quickly followed from that.
I think as well, you've got to credit Sonia Bompastor for what she's done for this Chelsea team. Emma Hayes left in the summer, and we were thinking, would they need a transition? Would it take years for her to put her DNA and her philosophy, and for her to put a stamp on this Chelsea team? Wow, what they've achieved this season is quite phenomenal. The players, the mentality, her backroom staff, everything coming together in her first season and winning the treble and going unbeaten. It's quite extraordinary.
It's very extraordinary, and I don't think anyone could have anticipated it. I think Chelsea have been fantastic today. From minute 1 to minute 90 plus, they really put Manchester United under pressure. I don't think in this game Manchester United was going to get a goal. It wasn't high enough. They didn't create enough pressure for Chelsea in Chelsea's defensive fit. And I think Sonia Bompastor should be proud of every single one of her players. We've seen some of the scenes at the end. You've got Katerina Macario crying because this moment's so big for her. She's scoring at Wembley. She's had the ACL previous, came to Chelsea with Sonia from Lyon, and I played with her at Lyon, and she was a great player and could play playing big games.
And Millie Bright there, her 16th major trophy. Look, it doesn't get boring, but let's hear from the player of the match, who's Joe Curry is speaking to right now.
Aaron, that smile, I think, says it all. I know how much this team loves to win. What does this one mean to you?
Oh, it tops off a brilliant season we've had, to be honest. So proud of the group. A lot of hard work's went into this, and I think to win in the fashion that we did, we're holding on a little bit at 1-0, and then we get the second goal, and I think, you know, that puts the game to bed from there.
You had a new manager come in and you still managed to deliver a treble. How do you begin to sum up the last season that you've had?
Honestly, it's difficult. There's a lot of change, especially for myself and Millie, who've been at the club for so long, and you just have to embrace it. Like, she's a manager, she's a winner, she's done it management and as a player, so you've got to respect that. She's done a brilliant job since she's came in, and you know what, a treble, what a way to start. It can't even get better from there.
You girls love to party. Who's going to be leading those celebrations in the dressing room?
Myself. Well, Sonia's put a curfew on us the last few weeks, so I think it's time to party.
Go and enjoy it. Well done, Erin.
Thank you.
Look, those Chelsea fans certainly are used to seeing their team win trophies. It never gets boring. They absolutely love it, Farah. I know you're smiling because you're one of those Chelsea fans and an ex-player. But the thing is, Chelsea continue to set the standard, which means other teams in the WSL have to follow, Farah.
Yeah, they do. I think, you know, people moan sometimes Chelsea keep winning. Is a league that competitive if Chelsea can do it season on season? I think they set the benchmark. It's now for every team behind them to start following this leadership that they've shown over the years. 6 years, Alex, they've won the WSL title. This is the second FA Cup in 3 years. They're a phenomenal team, and look, they keep getting the backing, and these players keep turning up. It's not easy to keep winning, and these players, the mentality that they have, they're able to do it. Nikita's giving me the eye. I don't think she likes how I said it.
She felt good saying every bit of that about Chelsea, but no, it speaks volumes of the club, the players, to continue to keep winning year on year. And I'm sure every other club in the WSL want to catch up, and I'm sure Chelsea want to go for that Champions League, because that's probably the one trophy that, you know, they want it in their cabinet.
I think what sets them from everybody else is they don't stand still. They always want to move forward, whether it's transfers, whether it's investment, whether it's the manager. They always want to improve year upon year. I think everyone needs to kind of look at their blueprint and be like, how can we reach what they are and try and bridge that gap? Because this team is phenomenal and they're going places, and it's going to be hard to catch them.
Nikita, you've been there, you've felt this feeling walking those Wembley stairs, 107 steps just to get up to that royal box, and it hurts when you come off a loss, especially like today.
Yeah, definitely. 3-0 loss. It's, you know, not just a loss, but the performance also. They probably never put in the performance that they wanted to, but, you know, in 23 we made that same walk with heavy legs going up all them steps, and, you know, the girls come back stronger in 24 and we went on to win it. So, you know, this experience now will only bode well for the future. Some young players in there, and I'm sure next season they want to continue that FA Cup run. You know, 3 FA Cup finals in a row for Manchester United, you know, that's an achievement in itself. Now it's about continuing to get there, but the consistency of winning.
Using this moment as fuel, Farah.
Yeah, and they had that fuel last year, didn't they? Off the back of the defeat 3 years ago to Chelsea, they used that last year against Tottenham, and they walked there, as Nikita said, as champions. This is a difficult walk for anyone. You know, I've not actually done it at Wembley, but I've certainly lost a few FA Cups, and it's not a nice feeling.
I'm not used to that.
It's not, no, I've not played enough cup finals, I'm telling you. But this is heavy. This is, you know, this is painful. Having to walk the stairs and you know, off the back of that defeat. And I think Nikita topped it off there. The performance. I think if you had a good performance, if you match Chelsea a little bit, you can take it a little bit more. But this is, you know, a real heavy one for them today.
And especially for Ella Toon as well. Not starting today. She's a big game player. We spoke about it pre-match, didn't we? About her scoring in those big moments at stadiums like this. So this will hurt her deeply.
Absolutely. I think she'll be so frustrated, and we were all shocked that she wasn't starting, because Ella can make things happen out of nothing by starting the game. You need her on the pitch to gain momentum, gain confidence, grow into the game. Give her the ball, let her run into space, put her in a position where she can take those shots on. And I feel like it was a strange one. Did you want to fuel her up to make her come on and then make a big difference? I'm not sure. It didn't work, obviously, and I think she'll be frustrated, but hopefully she can turn that frustration into the Nations League with England, and hopefully we'll see an amazing Ella Toon this season, because she's done phenomenal well this season for Manchester United?
I just think tactically, Alex, they got it wrong. And I think when you get it so wrong, and the first half they had to do a lot of hard yards, this Man United team, and I think that was where it was won and lost. The tactics of the game in the first half. Ella Toon, a big player, we spoke about it coming into the game. Having not had her start the game was a surprise for all of us. You could see the disappointment here on her face, but she then wasn't able when she came into the game to impact it. They didn't make too many changes. They changed personnel, but in terms of the tactical changes that were needed from this Man United team, it didn't look like that was said at half time. And they came out pretty much the same. And it was a matter of time before Chelsea got that second goal.
Well, Kat, what a day for you, for the team, for the Chelsea fans. How do you begin to sum up your feelings right now?
I mean, it's a very emotional day. One that, you know, it's a trophy that we always wanted to win. We wanted to come back here and yeah, just win the treble. It's been a very hard season, I think, for us and for me personally. So yeah, it's a big day, a very special day to be here at Wembley and to have won. It means a lot.
You played such an important role today. That was a sensational goal from yourself. Of all the goals you've scored in your career, that one must be up there.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play at Wembley and to have scored, especially in a final, you know, in such an important game. Yeah, I think it just, yeah, it does bring a lot of emotions for sure. Yeah, I think it was a, you know, cherry on the cake for the end of the season.
FA Cup finals come with their own pressures, but the fact that there was a treble on the line today as well, how badly did you want to add the FA Cup to that cabinet?
Yeah, I think, you know, playing for Chelsea, you know that we want to win everything, we want to win every title, and yeah, I think it is a lot of pressure anytime that you win that you play in a massive game like this, but at the same time, I feel like we have this winning mentality, you know, that's like, we've been here before and we know what we have to do in order to win, and that's exactly what we did today.
Just finally, whilst I've got you, have you got family here in the stadium? Are they watching back home? Have you got a message for them? Try not to make you cry, I promise.
Let's remind ourselves of some of the goals, because there were some great goals in there, Farah, but we had to wait till 45 minutes to get a goal, and that one came from a penalty.
Yeah, it did. It was actually a delivery from a corner, and it was second ball, and Erin Cuthbert, player of the match, gets onto the first knockdown, just chests it away from the defender, and I think it was Bazette there that hangs the leg out. But just see here, hangs the leg, definite contact. Erin Cuthbert uses her experience, goes down, and then Baltimore in front of this Manchester United crowd. There was red flags you see in the background, the coolest player on the pitch, and slots it away. Just see here, look at the composure there, Alex, to put her team 1-0 just before the half.
She had a fantastic game, didn't she? She's one of those players, the effort that she puts in, she's versatile, Ellen.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching her this season. Like you say, she play on the left, she can go further up the field as well. She takes set pieces, and this is a beautiful delivery for Macario. And Macario, obviously, we spoke about the squad depth. Obviously, Nikita's spoken about how good she is, but her impact and that header and the way that she was in between the defenders as well was very impressive.
And Nikita, Baltimore's second goal.
Yeah, I think, you know, she's just got herself in the box. She's found the bounce. It's bounced well for her, to be fair, but how she's hit it and the side net, and look at that strike. Just, you know, the best of strikers would have loved that, and, you know, I think she's done herself really proud today.
Came close, Alex, in my opinion, for player of the match. Baltimore, before that third goal, the player of the match was announced, and we know that Erin Cuthbert was involved in both. Baltimore, and then Baltimore just topped it because she got that second. So yeah, it must have been a tight one up there in comms for Rachel Brown to pick, but she had a fantastic game out here today.
This is a special moment. Sonia dancing away from presentation from us. But this moment is special, Farah, and you have to live in the moment and take it all in.
Yeah, and as you know, we heard them say they put a lot of their celebration on hold. They wrapped up the league with a couple of games to go. They won the League Cup, but then they had a 4-game back-to-back against Manchester City in the Champions League. So they had a really tough, you know, after winning the League Cup, they had a tough one of games, and then obviously after wrapping up the league, they wanted to go invincible, so they couldn't celebrate. But they deserve every bit of it now. And you look at the players, I'm sure they can't wait to get a little drink down them. I want to get a drink down them down me for them, because they've had an incredible season. But as you say, Alex, you have to soak up these moments. Chelsea missed out last season, so they wanted to be back here and they wanted to win this FA Cup. It is a massive cup in English football.
Yeah, it is a massive cup in English football, and I think it's not easy to win this. You know, as we said in previous 514 teams, and they've come out victors in this tournament, and I think they should be really proud of themselves. And look at the smile on the manager's face. That's all. That's what they wanted to make all season long.
Straight away, does your mind go to next season and be like, we do have one trophy missing, and that is our aim?
She said it before that is what she constantly thinks about, but I feel like she'll give herself at least a day maybe just to enjoy this. Like Mayra said, you've got to soak these moments up. She's got her family here, and I feel like you don't get to live these moments very often. Maybe at Chelsea you do, but I feel like it's really important to soak this in, especially for those fans that have travelled. It's amazing memories to create, but of course in a couple of days she'll be thinking about next season for sure.
Well, the Chelsea fans, they certainly brought the atmosphere, as did you today. Farrah Williams, Ellen White, Nikita Paris, thank you so much for joining us. Well, Wembley certainly is blue, and what a debut season for Sonia Bompastor and her Invincibles adding yet another trophy. We'll see you in the summer as England hope to retain their Euros title.